guys, it's Nick with Peak Suspension. Today we're going to do our ZR2 reveal and walk around video. It's been a long time coming. This truck's been kind of done for a while, but we're waiting on a couple of parts, and we had some custom armor done from Relentless Fabrication that we just got back about a month ago. So happy to show you the build. We'll do a walk around tour, show you all the parts, showcase, and go from there. So we kind of did a little bit different on this build. Our previous recipe on the Ranger was kind of your typical overland build. On this one, we wanted to go with a recovery type off-road vehicle. Just go anywhere, do anything, get anyone out if you needed to. The last piece of the puzzle we were waiting on was the new bumper from Relentless Fabrication. Now with the 21 ZR2, you notice the whole new front design. Doesn't leave a whole lot of options for bumpers. We didn't want to cut off everything that made it a 21. So we kind of wanted to leave a lot of the structure intact, a lot of the new design style. So we incorporated this new center section bumper. The cool thing with this bumper now is that it's a three-piece design, so it's going to help with shipping. It's going to prevent you having to put it on a giant pallet and pay freight, so you can actually take it apart. The other cool thing is it comes with these fog pockets, and you have the option of getting them with no fog pockets. So if you don't need the lights or don't want the lights, you can get a different end section that works. In the center, you have your winch. We went with the Factor 55 Ultra Hook and Fair Lead with the VR10S Warren winch. We wanted the synthetic rope on this one. We've had good luck with them in the past. The lightweight helps with these smaller trucks. There are some light provisions on this bumper as well. There are several different provisions on the top section, so you can run a flat bar. If you wanted to, you could do pods. We're going to run 3 Baja Designs XL80s on here, and we're going to run 2 Squadron Pros in the FOD pockets. We're just waiting to install those when we get them. The other cool thing that you notice, the new skid plate design from Relentless Fabrication as well. So this will be an option on all the bumpers coming forward. Now this replaces the factory ZR2 bumper. It also integrates with the AV skids going back the rest of the way as well. The cool thing with this is the ZR2 bumper, the factory ZR2 skid, mind you, would actually come out a little bit further and wider. So this one kind of hides a little bit better. It is thicker and stronger than the stock one. Many of you have the ZR2 probably know how easy it is to bash that skid plate and dent it. So this is actually a lot better protection-wise for your cross member. It just fits the bumper design a lot better as well. The other thing we have going on the front, we went with the Acon headlights. We just wanted that extra, it just looks cool. I mean, there's really no other function for that. So I'll be the first to admit it's simply an aesthetic choice. And the other things we went with is the full AEV conversions skid plate package. So all the way down, we'll get some shots of that later. The diff skid, we have the trans skid, the fuel tank, transport case, so the whole gamut. The other thing we did was this is the first production set of the 21 high mark flares. So I'll get on this side here. So you can see how this mates up to the new front bumper. The previous high marks actually stop at the Bison bumper, where these ones go a little bit further and then they end up at the factory position here. What this does is allows you to cut the fenders to fit 35s with no lift. We ended up going with the lift. We have, obviously, with our company, we went with the Peak conversion, the coilover conversion kit with our control arms as well. But we went with 35-inch Falcon MTs. We did a custom painted. I wanted to set something off. Props to AEV. I really liked their SEMA build back in I think it was 2016. They did the ZR2 unveiling with the body colored wheels. That always inspired me. I've always wanted to do that, so I thought this would be a cool throwback to that. So we did the same Sandu metallic paint on the wheels. We did powder coated black beadlock rings. Let's see what else we got on here. The front end, we also have the AEV snorkel. It's a fully functioning and working snorkel. We have the CBI ditch brackets and Rago extensions for our lighting. So as always with most of our trucks, we're very safety conscious and visibility. So we wanted a high visibility for forward traffic seeing us. We wanted the dust lights as well as, so they're Baja Design Squadron Pros and the amber lens. Baja Designs S2s as our ditch lights. So we have the wide range and we have the forward facing. And then obviously the XL80, their new roof ray. So this is your long distance lights. This is for safety and visibility. So all working together, we have all the zones covered, and Baja Design just released a video about how lighting zones work. So you should check that out. I guess going back, we have the Princer roof rack. We had Adventure Off-Road, who helped us build this truck, did some custom brackets to fit this Baja Designs bar, because at the time there wasn't any way to mount it to the Princer rack, so we had to kind of get creative on doing that. Princer rack with the Rome awning. Behind that you can't really see, but we have a Rotopax fuel container on there. That's obviously a necessity, and especially with this truck, we'll get to that later, but we supercharged this one and geared it, and it has 35, so fuel mileage has sacrificed a little bit, but it's worth the trade-off. I guess going forward, we'll just kind of pop in here real fast too. We have the Goose Gear 60/40. We took the 40 side delete. We have the Dometic CFX fridge. So this runs in conjunction together very well. Strapped it down so it doesn't have any movement when you're off-road, but it's great to have. You gotta have cold beer. Next, we have the brand new Relentless Fabrication modular bed rack. This was just released. They prototyped this on our truck. This is a newer design. Again, it's modular, so it can be taken apart in pieces and shipped. Molly panel with a whole lot of provisions for different mounting sections. We mounted our Pro Vehicle jack. This is the Talon, the 1.5 ton. Sits down here perfectly. Thankfully, doesn't make a whole lot of noise, but it's easy to get on and off, so it's in a great place for if you need it, or when you get stuck, you can get somebody else or yourself out. Above that, so as I said earlier, this truck's designed to be a recovery vehicle slash just off-road warrior. So in both these bins, we have a lot of recovery gear, tools, survival kits, first aid, everything you can think of to either get somebody out of a sticky situation or get ourselves out. I guess continuing down forward, we have the MagnaFlow exhaust. We're gonna end up running the Overland series exhaust here soon, but for right now we have their standard catback exhaust. Huge fan of MagnaFlow. I love the sound. We've had great success with this. We put them on all of our trucks. It's just one of the staples that we run. Next we have the, not new, but the Relentless Fabrication tire swing out bumper. So this one will hold a 35 and has no issues doing that. The bearing can support the weight. Again, the wheel and tire combination. We needed to have this because for me, the last truck with the Ranger having a deck system and a bed rack eliminated the entire bed. So I didn't want to make that same mistake again. It just was so cumbersome to have that. So we wanted to definitely have the spare, but have it outside the truck so we can still have a usable bed space. Again, this one swings out, has the camera relocation kit already installed. This one has the built-in camp table. So for us, we do a lot of camp cooking. Also works as a great tool bench. So this one comes standard on all the Relentless kits. Supports a lot of weight. We put our camping gear on it. We put our stoves on it. Just a great piece to have. So further back, we have our Baja Designs S2 Pro Chase Light. Same concept as the front. We want visibility from everyone behind us so that they can see through the dust and see where we are. Last thing you want to have is accidents on the trail because you can't see who's in front of you or you can't really see brake lights. So this cuts through dust tremendously. We also have an onboard water system in back here. So this one's the new Waterport pressurized system. So we can actually run our fuel or our air line directly to this, pressurize it, and have full pressure water out of the tank. We're gonna probably end up mounting this somewhere on the rack, but for right now, it just kind of sits in the bed. Another cool thing about this, I wanted to have everything we needed on the truck, but not have everything like a typical overland build, just bolt the shit out of everything and have everything exposed. So our air compressor, rather than being under the hood like a lot of people do, under the hood's fine, but what happens is with these full duty compressors is you're already putting it in a hot environment and they get really hot. So it does reduce the life to have it in the engine bay. We mounted it underneath the truck in the spare tire location, ran the fitting through here, so you just plug in your line, turn the compressor on, you can fill up all 4 tires, fill up people behind you, next to you, run the line into the bed for the water. Just a really cool feature to have, just kind of hidden. It's hidden in plain sight, but it's actually a great thing. S2 Sports backup lights, so they just kind of enhance nighttime visibility for backing up when you're getting into a campsite or getting somewhere in the dark. And moving on again, we have our MaxTrax boards. As you can see, we kind of wanted to keep the colors similar, so we went with the tan MaxTrax boards here. Easy to get to, pretty simple. And then finally, we have inside, we went with the S-Tech panel, and you'll see it's integrated into the dash, and that way it's a clean system, it's out of the way, and you can still access all of the integration for the S-Pod. So now, the cool section we'll go through, check out the interior of the engine bay. So as I said earlier, we supercharged this truck coming out of a deleted diesel and a turbo Ranger. I didn't want to have a standard V6. So we went with the Edelbrock supercharger through Lingenfelter. Lingenfelter adds a little bit of their own twist on this standard supercharger. So they have a different cooling system. It's a little higher capacity cooling system that they feature on here, a different pulley. But we have a trifecta tune on this one. So in addition to the 456 gears we installed for the 35s and the supercharger, this thing moves pretty damn good. Finally, we have the Warn relocation kit. So this helped tremendously for fitting inside here. It's just a lot easier to reach in here and plug in your winch remote than it is to go into the truck. Eric at Relentless made a cool bracket for this, so it sits cleanly inside the engine bay. Actually, last but not least, the Optima yellow top battery helps with having a deep cycle battery for our accessories like the fridge, and then the Bantam S Pod. So this controls all of our lighting, compressor, and it's all to that touchscreen inside the engine bay. So pretty much what you see is what you got. We love this truck. We've taken this thing everywhere. We just got back from Gold Mountain last week, getting ready to do John Bull in a few weeks. Loving it, everything this truck's capable of. It's the best truck we've had yet. So I guess the final thing we can go over is suspension, since that's what we do. As I said earlier, this truck has the peak coilover conversion kit, so we were running a 550-pound spring on this one. This bumper doesn't weigh a whole lot, nor does the winch, so we didn't need to up it to a 600. We have our peak tubular control arms. These are the poly bushings installed here. We also have Delrin available for anyone who wants a Delrin upgrade. The poly bushings are a softer compound, so it's better ride quality, but they do require maintenance. The Delrin is a stiffer compound. Doesn't require any kind of maintenance, but you might sense some more road vibration. But if you don't want to have to grease your ball or your bushings, you can just go with that upgrade as well. This is also the delta joint adapter, so we make an adapter to fit the delta joints on our arms. We also have uniballs available. The delta joint's a sealed unit, which it controls the environment a little bit better. So if you're in a wet climate, you're not going to have to maintain the open uniballs like you would normally. We have our diff drop on here, skid spacer that we have for the transfer case skid, and I said earlier, the entire AEV skid plates section on this as well. So in addition to the front suspension, obviously we have to work on the back suspension as well. So with this truck, because of the weight, we wanted to make sure that we can accommodate the weight of the truck, as well as keep cycling the suspension the way it's supposed to go. So to keep the height, we went with the ZR2, we replaced the ZR2 OEM block with our own billet block. A little stronger, it keeps it in place a little better. Plus we did the Deaver Expedition leaf springs. The Deavers maintain the shock control, so we want to make sure that we're not sagging or dropping, and also we went with the Timbrin bump stops on this one. They're an active bump stop, so it's like a two-stage compression, so as it hits, it compresses and doesn't have a sharp thud like the standard bump stop from the ZR2. It's a pretty capable truck. We're super happy with this one, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks for watching.
Let them know that we here for war. Here for war. Know that we here for war. For war. Say we here for war. Know that we here for war.
We're gonna start. Okay, and does that mean go? Yeah. Oh. Are we good? Good? We good? Do I just go? Hey guys, this is Nick with Peak Suspension. Today we're going to do me. Yes! So we did our billet aluminum blocks in conjunction with the Deaver Expedition leaf spring. In addition to the front end, obviously we have to do the back end as well. That sounded really weird. In addition to the front, obviously we can't forget about the back end as well. Why does that sound so weird? That's probably one of the most significant upgrades we've done so far, is when you're hitting hard stuff and the rear end just drops, you're not hitting that hard thud you are. God damn it, Kim. When you're hitting that back end. With this truck and the weight, when you're going through some of the harder stuff and the back end slamming down, I hate you guys.
Slow down. Slow the down, dude. Jesus Christ.